Like many anglers, I like what I like, and it's something that I don't want to change my mind about. I can be very hard-headed about that. When I find a lure that I like, I stick with it for a very long time. However, recently I had to let go of that and admit to myself I finally found a topwater walking lure that I like better than a Heddon Spook. Surprising, I know. We're going to talk all about it, so stick around.
Got him. Ooh, he was right there, too. I threw it right on his head. Oh, yeah. Come on, buddy. Oh, that's a nice fish. If I can just keep the butt of the rod away from my camera. Not make a whole bunch of noise. I'm telling you what, kids. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 15-mile-an-hour winds, and a topwater bite is on a bluebird day sky. So, yeah.
Welcome back to Lowbrow Fishing. Today we're doing this one in the tackle room. Even though it's a gorgeous day outside, the cicadas and bugs are so loud that even with the microphone right near my face, you can barely hear what I'm saying. So we're going to do this one inside. But I wanted to do this video for a little while now. It's something that I've been hemming and hawing about, and I decided I finally need to go ahead, bite the bullet, and make this video. We all like a topwater walking bait. It's such a versatile way to catch bass topwater. Cover water with it, work spots with it, and that explosion, seeing the bass come up from underneath and just smashing your walking bait. And there are great brands out there. You've got the Strike King Sexy Dog, you've got the Berkley Jaywalker, but for the king of the hill, the cream of the crop, everybody thinks of a spook. It's such a dominant walking bait that the term spook is a blanket term referring to pretty much any walking bait, right? No matter what lure you have tied on, what brand, what company, you always say, yeah, I'm throwing a spook. And I can understand why. A Heddon Spook has been a dominant walking bait for decades now. And I kind of have a spook obsession. I've got your standard bone ones. These have caught me hundreds of fish. And this is going to be my go-to whenever I'm looking to tie on a spook. If I need something more specialized, I go with this clear one, right? After the shad spawn, after those shiner spawn, and they're chasing those little translucent and clear minnows, something like this is a great way to go. Sometimes I need a little bit more contrast, so I'm using a darker colored one, a black one that's really going to show up on a sunny day, really have that hard contrast. Sometimes I'll go down. Sometimes I'll go to a Spook Junior, like this little chrome one here when I need a little bit more flash. You guys have even seen me fish that small little Zara puppy. So I like my Heddon Spooks. I think everybody does. But I found one that I'm forced to admit I actually like better than a Heddon Spook. I've had it for a couple of years now. I got it in under weird circumstances, and it's just been the most productive topwater bait I've had for the last couple of years. What is it? Well, before we get started, if you like what I'm doing here, click that subscribe button down below. We'd love to have you as a member of this community. And while you're down there, give this video a like. I would really appreciate it. If you haven't yet, head on over to patreon.com and check out my members page. The link is in the description below. It's where I post videos that I don't post here, and I do interactive polls that allow my members to choose the parts that I'm putting as I'm refurbishing that old boat, whether it's the steering wheel, whether it's the seats, or even forward-facing sonar. What my members vote on, that's what I do. So good old Heddon Spook, everybody's favorite topwater bait, and for good reason. I know there's going to be a lot of people who think that I'm crazy. These are just the best. Everybody knows it. Other brands are good, other brands catch fish, but this is the top of the hill. Well, not anymore, not for me. I found one that I have to admit has replaced that spook. And I suspect a lot of other guys feel the same way because these are actually starting to catch on. They're actually gaining traction on those spooks. And to the people I've talked to that are using them, they like them really a lot, or like with me, they're saying, you know what, this is better than a spook. And that's this guy right here. This is a Yo-Zuri 3DB pencil walking bait. Now, it's slightly smaller than a Spook, but that really doesn't play into it so much. It's got a little different sound. The bone color is just a little bit lighter, so it's not really that, but there's something about this. It's not just about throwing something different. It's not just about saying, well, this is a different type of bait. I can tie on a jaywalker. I can tie on a sexy dog, or even a Rapala skitter pop, right? Or skitter walking, whatever those things are called. I've got a few of those too. Like I said, I've got a large collection of walking baits. This is the only one of this that I have. I don't have any different colors. I don't have any different sizes. And I go back to this one time and time again. And it just keeps catching fish. As a matter of fact, this is the only walking bait out of all the walking baits that I have that has doubled up for me. I've doubled up on this walking bait more than once. That's right, 2 fish on this walking bait.
All right, one more pass and then I gotta go. But they are stacked right up on this point right here. Oops, you missed it. There, I got him. He came back for it. When they miss it, I just leave it sit. Ooh, that feels pretty good. That's a toad. That's a good toad right there. He's spinning my boat in circles. That's a good toad right there, kids. Let's see what I got. Let's see what I got here. Oh yeah, he's good. Oh, look at that. That's amazing. That is amazing right there. I doubled up. That's amazing. Oops. That's when you know the fishing is good. That right there is when you know the fishing is good. When you catch 2 on one cast. So, hang on, I'll come back to you, kid. 2-pound bass. Right at a 2-pound bass. Alright, thank you, buddy. And then we're going to come here. He's the smaller one, but I got him better. Little 1 1/4 pound bass. Awesome. Thank you, buddy. Alright, way to get that twofer. Oops.
And it's just such an amazing feeling whenever you do that. There's just something about this that's different enough that those bass go crazy about it. Now, as far as fishing it, it walks immensely well. It walks every bit as good as a Spook. I can make it walk wide. I can make it walk narrow. I can make it walk fast. I can make it walk slow. I can pretty much leave it in place and work it like a popper if I want to, get it to spit and zigzag side to side in spot locations. Or I can work it really, really fast to cover water. It excels in both of those. And the funny thing about it is how I actually came across fishing those. It was completely on a lark. I had one of these tied on one day out on the lake, was catching fish with them, doing okay, and I broke it off, and it was my last bone-colored Heddon Spook. I didn't have any more in the tackle box, so made a trip to the old Wally World. Got inside Walmart and figured, well, they got Heddon Spooks. They had Spooks, but they didn't have a bone-colored one. Craziest thing ever, the most popular color for a Spook, and they didn't even have one. I saw this in the package. I saw that it was like $9. So I was like, you know what? That's not a bad price. This is the only bone-colored walking bait that they have in the entire store. So that's what I bought. And I was immediately impressed. I tied it on, went to work with it, and I just started catching fish. And I was like, okay, that's a great replacement. But when I get my bone-colored Spook back, when I order the next package full, and I picked up like 3 or 4 of them from Bass Pro, and they came in, and I started fishing with them. Obviously, right, I was done with that. That was a good replacement, but now it's time for the big dog to come into play. And I was doing all right, but I felt like I wasn't getting the bites that I was getting with that Yo-Zuri. So I tied that Yo-Zuri back on. And something about it, it's slightly different or it's vastly different, but there's something about it that those bass really gravitate to. And I was being hard-headed for a long time. I would talk to other people about it, other people who were using that same bait. And I would say, like, It's a great walking bait. I like it, but it's not going to replace my spooks anytime soon. And I was holding on to that. But after a while, I had to realize that 3DB pencil walking bait, that's my favorite walking bait. It is now my favorite walking bait. I will readily admit that I like this more than I like this. And I know that is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of anglers. You don't go against the spook. The spook is the king, and there is a reason for that. I'm not saying the spook is bad. I'm not saying I'm going to stop fishing spooks. But what I am saying is I feel like I can tie on that Yo-Zuri walking bait and have a better chance of getting those fish excited, getting those fish to bite, even when they don't necessarily want to. I've done it time and time again, to the point where I find myself reaching around my Heddon spooks in my tackle box to dig under to get that Yo-Zuri one to tie it on. If you haven't yet, I'm telling you, give it a try. You're going to be pleasantly surprised at just how well, in many different situations, whether it's clear, whether it's calm, it doesn't matter. It catches a lot of fish. And I'm not fishing it on anything special. My regular topwater grass fishing setup. I fish it with 30-pound braid to a 17 to 20-pound either fluorocarbon or monofilament leader. A lot of times I like that monofilament leader because it'll actually add some float to it and it adds some stretch to it, which works well for me. I'm fishing it on a 7.2 medium heavy rod. A 7-foot medium heavy rod will also work just fine. And I can work it over vegetation, over that submergent vegetation. I can work it around laydowns and timber. I can skip it up under docks. Well, you can skip anything if you give it enough practice. But I can work it around some pretty nice tight places and have a lot of success with it. So if you haven't yet, I'm telling you, check out those Yo-Zuri walking baits. And I'm betting there's going to be a lot of guys in the comment section who come out and say, you know what? Those Yo-Zuri walking baits are legit. So if you haven't tried them, give it a try. You will like the results. So there you have it, the 3DB pencil walking bait from Yo-Zuri. It was a pleasant surprise. It was a bait that I had never intended on even trying. But once I did, I couldn't put the thing down. Check them out. Let me know what you think of them. Thanks for watching Lowbrow Fishing. We'll catch you in the next one.